For plebs, by plebs, dropping the Bitcoin-only signal. Pleb Underground. Welcome everyone to the Pleb Underground.
Welcome back to Pleb Underground. Taking it back, a pleb underground. Making it back from the 305, feeling blessed to be alive. Skills that mimetic, inherited, genetic, evolving like biology, new net worth, topology, not level nor insane. Rhymes on a plane. Backpack on your back, son. Time to run like Jackson. Watch the whole like Bo. Peep. Mo money, mo sleep. No, it's not a biggie deal. Sleep deprivation is for real. No desperation, so don't steal. Back once again from an excellent trip, rocking the boat while righting the ship, rocking from the hotel, writing the rip. She's leaning back, inviting the tip. Take her out, she wants to dress up, hair on point, later to mess up. Bitcoin is truth, come on now, fess up. Shoulders back, chin to God, bless up. She's stretching to stay limber, ready to receive the timber, waiting on her knees so not forsaken, wanting to be emotionally taken. Call it passion of the heist, impaled but not like Christ. Slaying without fronting, call it goodwill hunting. Looking jacked, all natty, no peds. Bitcoin is going off without their meds. Burning hot but prevailing with cool heads. Fuck shitcoins, fuck the feds. Taking a chance but tails never fails. Round up the politicians and put them in jails. Time to abort, no time to right wrongs. I'm not short, so my 100x longs. In Bitcoin, there's many that inspire. I'm blazing trees like a forest fire. Hot in here, AC higher. Keep it cool. Corn to acquire. Using resources quickly is splurging. Rhymes used once are no longer virgin. Chilling and relaxing, tasting the Dolce Vita. I need liquidity, pool to live like Plandita. Only Jay got away with moving rocks like Stony. What is a pleb? Real talk, no fake, no phony. I want all the beef, but not in our crew. No corporate shills trying to milk you. Not skipping leg days so the calves are for real. Meat in the middle, the halves of the veal. Lesson at a time. Call me the teacher. No messing on the rhyme, just Walton on the feature. Can't be a settler, don't be a reacher. Little sun on my skin, so dark and not bleacher. Eyes wide open, number one pupil. Open the can, loophole. Bitcoin is voluntary, try not to force it. Path of liquidity, no need to force it. Gotta tap the root, dig deep and source it. Patent or open source it. What you can affect, cause it. Start it up, full power horse it. Affinity scammers always endorse it, like dash, 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 go max and morse it. Bought a ticket, now time for redemption. Fought the thicket, would I get an exemption? Brought the picket, white wood for the tension. Taught her to lick it, she's worth a mention. No MF Doom, but still rhymes like dimes. Rhymes about the common times, rhymes about the common plebs. Music like tidal, it flows and it ebbs. Walton again with pontifical lyricism. Deriving facts with first principle empiricism. Welcome back to Pleb Underground. Taking it back. A pleb underground, making it back from the 305 and feeling blessed to be alive.
Absolutely awesome, man. Fantastic rhyme. And joining us today, we have return guest, fellow Bitcoin pleb, Flacco. What's happening, my dude?
Hey, man. I'm happy to be back on the show. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Awesome.
All right, let's go. You heard him, Walton. Let's move on over
Apparently,
to...
this is like... This is a Super Bowl from like 10 years ago because Flacco touched down.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh,
Walton with the quick wit. All right. We are moving on over to the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers, of course, brought to us by Time Chain Stats and Time Chain Calendar. It was very cool to see Time Chain Calendar featured on main stage. One positive thing from the conference.
Yeah. That the hecklers during the ordinals debate were
those
also
guys,
pretty good. Those guys were great.
Fuck shit coins!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 791,526. The Bitcoin price, or the fiat Bitcoin exchange, 26,440. Total public Lightning capacity, 5,343.23. Moscow time 3782. And the chain rewrite days, 722. Very uneventful, very uneventful.
Question. When do we think the fiat price denominated in dollars will exceed the block height?
May I chime in here?
No, eventually
yeah,
it'll happen.
Of course.
It has to. But I'm saying, when will it happen? I did a poll like 2 years ago, and a whole bunch of people thought it would happen before 700,000 or 800,000 or 900,000 or even a million blocks. And I don't think that's going to happen. Probably, I think it's going to be a little bit later than that.
You want to hear something crazy? Okay, so this is my theory for Bitcoin. Always has been ever since the first day I bought it. Bitcoin is going to $10 million by 2030, and it's undervalued at 10 million. Always undervalued, no matter what.
I mean, I think it'll go to 1 million by 2030.
No,
10 million is pretty.
10 million. Bro.
I mean,
1 million's on
certainly, but like thinking mass printing and actually the house price is 10x in that time as well. Is that what you're thinking?
I'm just thinking 10 million.
No, but that doesn't mean anything. Like the whole point is, does it buy you? Like, is 10 million? Do you know what I mean? Like, if $1 million house these days is it? People used to think $1 million was a lot. $1 million in terms of what it buys you as a property in a lot of places isn't that much anymore.
Not that much,
like,
no.
It's not a mansion anymore, right? Like $1 million isn't the kind of grand riches that you might have thought it was when you were a kid.
That's the truth,
it's not.
man.
But you know what? To add to some of this bullishness, take a look at this, guys, from Sentiment Feed. Bitcoin's key large whale addresses tier has been on a steady accumulation run over the past 5 weeks. And this is from May 16th, this post. Accumulating a combined 84,897 BTC during the time, while prices are stagnant. In their previous accumulation cycle in January, prices jumped 34%. So
explain this very easily. Very easily. This is money flowing to exchanges to do swing trading because it's choppy.
Very bullish.
But the point is, right? The point is that when we go back to Walton's original question as to when we cross, right? When the fiat exchange crosses the block height, maybe it's sooner than we think. I think this is kind of the thing about Bitcoin, because I remember back in 2017, and it was like, it was below 1K. It was below 1K, and then Bitcoin crossed 1,000 for like the second time in its history, and people were sitting there going, "You're going to see that it's going to 5K," and lo and behold,
what was the block height again? What was the block height again?
Back then?
No. What's the block height right now?
Oh, the block height. I already closed the screen.
Okay, all right. Well, I think we're about another
791,526.
We're about 210,000 blocks away from 1 million, right? So 4 years time. So what's this, like May of 2027? Do we think it could hit 1 million by May 2027? It's not impossible, but I think it's unlikely. I think, but by the next halving, it's like, not the next halving, the next 4 year period after that, then you're like a 1.2 million block height. It definitely could do that. So I don't know. If you
really think about it, we're only like 3 halvings in. It's very small. Right? Yeah, we're very small. Like the fucking thing goes to 2,143. It's gonna go to 1 million easily in the next 5-6 years for sure.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, do not trade.
It's going to 1 million for sure.
Use Bitcoin as a savings tool and learn more about Bitcoin. And smash buy as much as you fucking can. People, go fucking wild and buy all the Bitcoin. Thank you.
That's right. That is absolutely right. All right, guys.
And that is definitely not financial advice.
Wink. All right. That wraps up the numbers, and we are going to move it on over to our guest discussion. The guest spot is brought to you by our new sponsor to the show. Welcome, CypherSafe, and check them out at CypherSafe.io. Guys, every single one of us has to store our seed. Paper is just not secure enough. So I propose store your seed in the Cypher Grid. Very high quality, made by fellow Bitcoiners, and it comes with the punch tool. That's right. If you're looking for a gift, check out the Bitcoin Rolo Triangle, made of solid titanium and full of beautiful detailing. That's right. Check it out at CypherSafe.io. So as you guys know, Flacco is our guest, and he has brought on with him his partner at Adpretzel, and they are going to talk to us a little bit about what they do there. So Quake, super cool that you can join us for this portion of the show. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate you guys having me. Look forward to
Thank you very
actually
much.
getting on here after the build. It's one thing to get the website, but now to get involved, it's a pleasure to be part of the community now.
Awesome. Yeah, nobody knows that our website's been redone yet. We haven't revealed
Damn.
it, but it's all good. No, it doesn't matter because we're going to talk about it, and then of course
No,
at
we
some
do.
point we're going to do the official, release of the website. But anyways, guys, so we as Pleb Underground enlisted your help to kind of build us a front end because we have YouTube and we also have our Substack. Right. And we want to have this unified front end. And I don't know, Quake or Flacco, which one of you guys could answer this best, but tell us a little bit about what Adpretzel does. We'll start with that. What does Adpretzel
Quick,
do?
I'll let you take this away.
Not a problem. Basically, what we do is anything the digital that you don't understand, we're the guys to put it all together. So whether it be social media, we build graphics, we do design for websites, we do a bit of SEO, we do anything really digital, anything to do with the new tools coming to market. We see a lot of the AI push. We're integrating that into our aspect and into our platform as well. We're looking to also integrate cryptocurrency payments for Bitcoin through our building partners as yourselves. If ever there be a monetized system coming your way, to integrate Bitcoin payments into your website, Bitcoin payments into our website. So anything to do with that. So we're trying to build brands, build social media presence, and get people's name out there.
Very nice. Very nice.
Awesome.
So, go ahead, Flacco.
Yeah, the way I see it anyways, is for people who need more time on their hands, right? So let's say you're just too busy to do any social media brand building, or you want a website, or you want this, you just don't know what to do. Just give me a call, and I'm going to save you hours upon hours upon hours upon end, and you can focus on what you're good at in your company, and I'll take care of the rest. You want a website, you want social media, you want posts, you want custom graphics, you want anything you want. Just give me a call, and I can help you out for sure. So it's going to save you a bunch of time.
I love it. So look, let me ask you this. What is, and again, this question is to both of you guys, whichever one of you want to answer it. But what would you say is the, I guess, the biggest mistake that you see from people coming in and approaching you? And again, I approached you guys for help. So, like you can include even, stuff that, that we have. So don't leave that unturned. If you have to dump on us, you can. But what is the biggest mistake that you guys see that people make in terms of, I guess, SEO and social media presence, and then like why they're coming to you, I guess?
Well, I guess I would have to say really the what people really fail to realize is it is a step-by-step process. A lot of people expect things to happen overnight. They start from nothing and they expect it all to intertwine and connect the dots all within a short period of time. The truth behind anything is that if you don't work it, and if you don't put the time and the effort to actually scaling anything by the step-by-step process, because jumping ahead will just take you backwards, in my opinion. Sometimes you just have to put it in the professional's hands. We're all good at something. We all have our skills. We all have our talents. I'm going to go to the plumber if I have something to do in my kitchen, so to say. I don't have that skill. I don't have that knowledge. So the biggest thing I have to say is a lot of the customers can be impatient in wanting it all to happen. A website doesn't happen overnight. A website that is really appealing to the public. We have to get results as well as a company coming into your business, trying to understand you, because our job is to represent whoever our customer is. So the time we understand and adapt to your needs and wants is all a colliding process. So a lot of the times we can't even breathe. And like Flacco was mentioning earlier, is that as a business, you have to like delegate. You have to have somebody else take care of certain things so you yourself can focus elsewhere where your time is best served. So rather than getting involved in every little detail of your business, step back and overlook the general aspect. And that's where I feel people fail to see it.
100% agree, brother. And the thing is, after saying all that, when you tell somebody this, they just don't understand it. Nobody understands.
No, they still don't listen, right?
So the thing is that then they go to somebody else, like a grifter or like a charlatan or whoever, a fucking scammer or whatever, and they promise them overnight results. They take the money and they just don't deliver. The difference with us, we actually fucking deliver you something, right? Here you go. This is what it is. It's going to take this much time. It's not just, hey, okay, give me like a retainer and I'll call you in 5 months. No, but a lot of people end up in that situation. It's kind of like, false promises and stuff like that. As we all know, shit coining and stuff like that. They offer you the fucking world, but it's all fucking vaporware. And there's, I would say 90% of the agencies out there, they just pretend to be, okay, yeah, we'll do it for you. They're going to deliver you some fucking bullshit result and you'll never hear from them again. And that's 99% of the time, that's what people end up doing. And then when I tell them, they don't want to listen to me. So it's like, well, okay, just to say, right? That's the sad reality of this business, is that people give the trust to the wrong people. They don't get the result that they want, and then they never work with anybody again. And that's the thing we're trying to change. And well, trying to change. That's the thing. We're trying to help people understand that it's not overnight. And anybody who tells you overnight, they're just plain taking your money, right? So just to give you a little bit of a context of what happens when people don't listen, right? So
I think you hit the nail on the head, because we lost Walton there, but hopefully he'll pop back in. But yeah, essentially what ends up happening, right, is that you tell somebody the truth, and let's be honest, right, most people don't really want to hear the truth. They just want to hear what it is that they want to hear, right? Like it's and they'll know when they hear it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I remember this when I was working in my normie job. I would go and provide a realistic timeline, and I realized that was a mistake. Okay, so it's a mix of expectation setting, right, and providing and communicating that the timeline. And I remember I would provide these timelines. I would explain all the work that was involved, and they would still, upper management would still have me shave off like 40% of that timeline, even though it wasn't possible. And I would tell them, I would be like, you can do this, but what you're going to get is not what you want. And I got to be honest with you, nobody gives a shit, which is interesting. Nobody cares until you deliver them the thing that they didn't want, and then they care.
Yeah.
Well said. It's exactly that.
There's actually a saying that really resonates with this whole fucking thing we're talking about over here. It's called how does it go again? It's harder to convince somebody they've been fooled than actually fooling somebody. So if the guy got fooled out of his money or whatever, it's harder to convince the guy that he's been fooled than actually taking the money from him. So I think it's one of the quotes I saw like a while back. I just remembered it. Stayed with me.
Yeah, and
isn't that called Brandolini's law, that it takes more energy to refute bullshit than to produce it?
All right, so you guys provide SEO services. Okay, so let's say content creators goes and enlists you guys. And again, I'm not going to make any assumptions as to the different types. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's the first thing I'll ask you guys before I ask the follow-up question is, number one, what type of, I guess, like different packages, or I guess you would call them that, like different plans that you offer. And then my follow-up question would be to that. Okay, so let's say somebody enlists you guys to help out, how realistically, right? Like we were just talking about, how long would you say somebody would have to wait until they would start to see results, provided that they are doing everything that is asked of them, right? In the context of the social media and producing the regular content.
Well,
and that question's to both of you.
Yeah. So for me, it really would depend on what you're asking for. Do you want to gain followers? Do you want content to get you customers? Depends what your business is, right? So if you're like let's say like you guys, right? If you're like a YouTube creator or something like that, right? Like you make videos, or obviously you don't have customers, right? So your goal is to get followers. Your goal is to reach a certain number, and we're going to help you get there. So, but companies, like most of our clients, right? They like their businesses, right? So they don't care about followers. The only thing they care about is lead generation, right? So it really would depend on what you're looking for, right? And anything in this game, because For some weird reason, no matter how much AI you want to throw out there, no matter how many years the internet's been out there, tech is the most fucking horrible thing to work with because everything fucking breaks all the time, right? It's very, very slow. So let's just start. So let's say I would say the timeline for me to actually see a progression for whatever you're looking for is usually about 3 months. For me, that's what I've seen over the past, let's say, I've been doing this for about over 3 years. So about that time, that's what I've seen. I've seen after the 3 month mark, you start rolling. You start seeing what you want. You start getting the followers. You start getting the phone calls. You start getting this. You start getting whatever you want. To me, that's what I've seen, right? But maybe Quake could explain a little bit more technical than me because I just spurt shit out of my mouth. So
It's not far off. It's not far off. It's good. It's good. Honestly, to add on to what he said, what we do, damage control. Walking in the door, we do damage control. We walk in and we see where are they standing. We've walked in with companies that you walk in and they have color schemes that are off. It's stupid to say it's the finer details that actually make the biggest difference in the overall image of a brand, a name. When I first met you guys, I said there was something very familiar about your logo, and I really loved it right off the bat. And I felt I communicated with it, but you resonated that same logo across your entire identity. Easy start for us. I came in, I already knew what you guys were doing. I'm not taking 10 directions. I'm not coming in doing one post that's pink and the next one is dark green and one is brown. Because in this game, it's how many times can you get eyeballs on your product. The bigger corporations, okay, majority of people aren't going to get there, but they say 3 times a day is where you're supposed to see. You're supposed to see Coca-Cola 3 times in one day before you actually buy that Coca-Cola. And that's where we have to come in, evaluate, say, okay, how many agency passed before us? How much of a mess did they do? Did they follow the script? Did they follow the guidelines? Did they create the brand before trying to sell the product that's the next guy's going to rip off? Because let's face it, in today's world, nothing is sacred anymore. You have a good idea, the next person comes, takes it, and runs with it. It's his own. So the reality is we have to stand out. What myself and Flacco have been trying to do is we go for the smaller business. We go and we establish our value. We're bringing actual value to customers because we've walked in the door and we see that they've been getting taken for 50%, 60% of their profit of what they agreed with a customer, and they got nothing in the end. What do? We come in at a smaller price point, which is more available for the little guy who's trying to start up, because to close somebody who's already established is very, very difficult. You're dealing with an established business. They don't want to hear from you. They don't want to deal with you. They're comfortable. Coming in to give opportunity to the little guy, you're part of the growth. You see the result. You're proud of it, of what you do. And in the end, like we started with you, by the end of it, we're going to be taking all your sats. We're coming for that Bitcoin. We're going to establish that trust and get you guys nice and comfortable. But eventually, as you guys grow, you're going to want to do the extras and get us involved to see where we can help you guys, and likewise, and say, hey, put your touch on it. And every business is different. I might have to tailor something to a Bitcoin newsletter, as you guys are doing with some content creation and articles. It might be a highly competitive market. So our main job is, like I said, damage control and actual research. That's the key to any success.
Pretty much, yeah.
In this business.
Can I just query one thing? The statistic. I mean, I'm a numbers kind of guy. Like the statistic of you have to see Coca-Cola 3 times in the day before you buy it. I think what you mean is that on average, a customer is exposed to 3 images per day per purchase on average. Not like it's a prerequisite for that to happen.
No, of course not. But you exactly correct. Like it has to be seen, whether it be the name, a picture, or just hearing in a conversation. Like
it's about a multiple of the impressions for purchase.
Correct.
Essentially.
It's like when you walk in, like for me, like when you walk inside like a grocery store, you're going down the aisle and you see Coca-Cola one time. Let's just take Coca-Cola because we're talking about Coca-Cola. You see it once, fuck it. You're walking back on the other aisle, you see it again. And then you're walking back out to pay, you see it the 3rd time. Well, most people will probably buy it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't drink Coke, but whatever. Just saying, right? It's something like that.
By
Yeah,
the third time, you're like, they didn't put the cocaine back in, but I'll take it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't get me wrong, but in the case of Coca-Cola, like everything, right? I mean, before it was cocaine, but then everybody just got addicted to the sugar, you know?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
they're just addicted to that. It doesn't even matter anymore. But I do know some people who.
On the plus side, they no longer give heroin to or opium to small children to shut them up as they did in Victorian times. So there's some progress.
There is, but there is still evidence of people people giving kids whiskey for toothaches. So for some reason that still happens. It works, even though it's not the right thing to do. Okay, so guys,
I mean, it cleans it probably a little bit. That's
I mean, it is antiseptic, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's antiseptic, a little bit of a buzz. No, this is this is not
whiskey in
advice.
my gums.
This is not proper advice.
Children with alcohol, we definitely condemn that sort of behavior.
Yeah,
totally.
So here, I'm going to ask you guys one more question before I'm done, unless Walton might have another question after that. But okay, what do you guys see? This might just be to Quake as well. I don't know, but what do you guys see as kind of like the most challenging aspect of your business in terms of dealing with the tech? You know, like in my case, I come from a technical background, and for me, you know, like there was always problems with upgrades and issues with DLL files, for example. You know, like you'd end up with an older DLL and all of a sudden a certain function wouldn't work. Now you guys are dealing with, I feel like, a lot of APIs, you know, like you're dealing with WordPress. Like what causes you guys the most headaches?
Yeah, that's definitely a quick question. Me, I don't know shit. Go for it.
On my end, it's walking, like I was saying, when you're walking into somebody's WordPress and you're dealing with their websites and you just simply want to put things up to date, any little minor detail can break it. So you can, like, even on your website alone, I spent an enormous amount of hours on a random bar that would not disappear, and I raged, and I could not find it for the life of me. Excuse me, sorry, I have a dog here. It started barking. I could not find it, and you never know. Sometimes it could be the simplest of things. That is tech. It could be right in your face, and it'll take you hours and hours before you find that answer, and you say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I knew this already."
That is the worst.
So a lot of it is just trial and error and poking around, and sometimes it's also the overworked. We get tunnel vision in this field of work. When you get started, I mean, if you've built anything in your life, once you get started, the hours don't count, the daylight doesn't come, nor does it go. You just stare and stare and stare, and you lose focus. Sometimes it is good to breathe and come back to something and be like, okay, now it makes sense.
I completely agree. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna add in here. Okay, there's one service that I do exclusively for people that want it, and it's something that Quake's not involved in, but I do. It is part of the whole Adpretzel thing. I do e-commerce management. This is something that I love to do. Like Quake loves to build websites, all that stuff. One thing that I enjoy, apart from the whole agency and everything that we're doing, right, is really taking care of people that want to start up Amazon stores. And you want to talk about tech that breaks and stuff like that, get behind an Amazon dashboard, you're gonna fucking croak for the amount of upgrades and things that these guys do daily. You have a problem on your Amazon store, you can't just fix it. It's like you got to go through a whole 7-week process to fix it and shit like that. But that's one thing that I do offer to people that are ever looking for guidance, or if everyone is they're just bored or they want to start an Amazon store. I pretty much do a full management of e-commerce for people that want it. All right. So yeah, just to add that in there, this is something that I do personally that I love extremely. And yes, the tech is fucking long behind this fucking dashboard. So I know exactly what he's talking about. Like I had to fix up a product the other day for somebody. Took me 4 weeks, right? Because you have to always call, you have to call Amazon, you got to do this, you got to do that, you have to send a case log. And they fix it for you, but if you don't talk to them, well, you're done, right? So there's a whole process behind this whole thing, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way with WordPress, right? So that's
and to each our strengths, which is why I let him do the talking with Amazon.
Everybody has their specialty, right?
Of Amazon.
Everybody has it.
Everybody hates it, bro, dude. I don't mind it, gotta say. So
well, I really appreciate that. Walton, do you have any final questions for the segment?
I assume you guys don't work for shitcoiners.
For shitcoiners? No, we're a startup right now. We're dealing with
Very good.
roofers,
Very good.
Oh, we work for
roofers,
the
mom and
we
pop,
work
and
for
pleb
USD
underground.
there, Walton.
Yeah, no,
I
but I
don't-
mean, as in, like, you're not pushing, you're not doing these services for unethical businesses. Is my point.
No. This is people that that just reach out, like friends of friends and stuff like that. Like our main, it's pretty much businesses, like blue collar businesses, stuff like that. I would say plumbers, roofers, beauty salons, stuff like that. No fucking.
We're building it outside of crypto entirely. We're building it completely
Yeah,
outside of crypto.
we don't reach out to the
People who do
Solana
real work.
Foundation. Yeah, we don't reach out to the
Have those
fucking
technical
Solana
skills.
Foundation and ask them to fucking give them their money.
They have a
Nothing
phone
like that,
for
no.
you. They have a phone for you if you do.
Yeah, exactly right. Like
No, there won't be any pretzel
call,
coin anytime soon. That's for sure.
I didn't cold call Dan Larimer. If that's what you're asking.
God.
No, not really.
Oh God. Steam and EOS. All right, guys, that wraps up the guest segment. And how do people find you? How do people get in touch with Adpretzel if they want your services?
Adpretzel.com. You can find us
DM me
there.
on Twitter, son, or you could go on adpretzel.com.
Sweet. Okay, we are going to add that in the show notes so people can get in touch with you if they would like and learn more. Rekt is brought to you by RepresentLTD.com. Check them out. Use the code PlebUnderground for 10% off. Represent sponsored our Miami event. Taco Plebs, take a look at the shirts. Limited edition, awesome quality. Like I said, use the code PlebUnderground for 10% off, and that's at RepresentLTD.com. All right, guys, we got a couple of little things to look at for Rekt. First one is a tweet from Mike Dudas. Metaverse landowners Rekt. Oh my gosh, Bitcoiners couldn't have seen this one coming. So here we go, guys. Metaverse land prices then and now. That doesn't look good. So here we go. These are all the most popular quote unquote metaverses. And for the people who don't know what the metaverse is, it's fake land. It's digital fake land that you buy that you don't really own, that can be recreated a million times over and over again and is completely pointless. But for some reason, people want to do this. Well, take a look. Decentraland. There you go. Top metaverse land prices 2022 versus 2023. You were paying 5.24 ETH and now 0.64. That is pretty freaking brutal. And I mean, I hate saying, we told you so, but the reality is that is the perfect example of the greater fool. Nobody's thinking that land is scarce. I have a friend that does this type of stuff, and he was telling me, he's like, he's buying all these, burrows and stuff like that in New York, and I'm like, but you're not buying anything. You're not getting anything. And then I'm like, what if some other platform goes and makes the same city? And of course they do, right? So you have a New York in like 50 different platforms. Why does anyone care? Anyways.
A few months ago, we covered that someone spent $330,000 on a 4-bedroom house with a pool in the metaverse in Miami. Now, and there was also some guy that sold a kidney for an NFT. Shitcoiners do crazy things. Nothing surprises me anymore. Is it surprising that things that aren't actually scarce but pretend to be start decreasing in value over time? Not really.
Yeah, I know. It's unsurprising, but I feel like we have to report on it because that way we can give people that, that counter narrative, because otherwise, it's always just these pie in the sky, phony numbers and all kinds of BS. And so we just got to bring people back to reality. Right? Exactly. Flacco, any thoughts on this before we move on to the next Rekt?
Yeah, I just want to talk about like the whole, this whole metaverse or whatever. I find that it kind of goes in levels. So if we go back to, let's say, 2013, even before that, like we just BTC. That was great. Then like the first level was kind of like altcoins. You kind of got like Feathercoin and fucking Namecoin. Then you had Litecoin. And then okay, great. Then after that, a little bit later, you know, it starts becoming ICOs, and then with the ICOs, developed 2020, and then the NFT started. 2019 metaverse digital land started with Decentraland, and then that fucking faded away. Then after that was DeFi, and then that's another layer. And a layer after that is NFTs after that, and it's just always something to just, and now it's ordinals and stamps and fucking this and that, and like you don't know what the hell's going on. So for me, this is complete fucking garbage because it's too fucking time consuming, man. You know, it's like,
Isn't it?
like
Isn't it just so ridiculous?
Overload. It's information overload. That's the
And
whole.
for what?
That's what I think. That's what I think. I think the whole thing is for, let's say, the creators, or like the grifters or whoever, like the shitcoin creators for these actual projects. They fucking do it on purpose to information overload people that have no idea what the fuck is going on. So they're just buying whatever, and they get rugged, or the rug goes on long enough that they get rugged, like let's say a year later, or whatever, right? I'm just saying it's just an information overload fucking protocol that absolutely has no value whatsoever. And moving forward after that, in the end, it really is just BTC, right? So now BTC is getting infected with, fucking the NFTs and all that bullshit. I don't know what the fuck is going to come out of it, but it went into fucking Bitcoin. It's like it infected. So it's like just bullshit, right? So in the end, you just got to stack them sats, and that's it. You know?
That's exactly right, man. You know, I mean, this is all just noise. And actually, you were talking about the BS, guys. As this is all happening, we can't forget there's unfortunately still infrastructure that is falling apart, and that's the next piece of our Rekt segment. I have never heard of this before, but anyways, let's dive into it. Unbanked to close after being left hanging by investor. Crypto fintech firm Unbanked, which provides crypto custody and payment services, has become the latest firm to close shop while citing a harsh regulatory environment for crypto in the United States. To state it bluntly, U.S. regulators are actively trying to stop companies, banks, and fintechs from supporting crypto assets, even when the companies are trying to do it correctly and by the book. Unbanked's decision to wind down operations comes despite the firm inking major deals with other companies in recent months, including a partnership with payments giant MasterCard. The co-founders said the firm had been expecting $5 million in funding injection, but still hasn't materialized. Kane and Goldman said they believe this is a result of the regulatory climate for crypto in the U.S., which ultimately limited Unbanked's ability to raise capital and run a self-sustaining business. The firm has urged its clients to begin with the withdrawal of all funds as soon as possible. Unbanked hasn't been alone in this plight. On May 23rd, Lightning Network payments firm dubbed BottlePay also closed its doors, with all services to completely shut down by June 24th. It did not provide a reason for the closure. And I just want to point out before I wrap up this piece of Rekt, I just want to point out BottlePay. There's some people who may not know BottlePay existed back in 2019. I remember they actually won the first Lightning Boltathon. Okay, one of those hasn't taken place in a few years now, but for the people who don't know, there was essentially this competition called the Boltathon, and BottlePay actually won the first one. And they were extremely popular, and they shut down back in 2019, retried again, and are now being shut down again. So look, we are definitely very early in this space. Okay. And obviously, you know, we're Bitcoin only, but my point is that even though we're not hearing about these other institutions that are falling apart, there's still a lot of money that is drying up, and apparently the carnage isn't over. Now, what's interesting is you would have thought that these smaller organizations maybe would have been the first ones to go, but instead it was the much bigger ones to blow up. So what are your thoughts on that? You know, like, I mean, think about it, right? FTX, Luna, Celsius, like all these massive ones blew up first. And now you're hearing about these, you know, these little ones. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diminish their, you know, the issue that they had. But, you know, just kind of going by the wayside. Does it even matter? Is it just, you know, like, I think that this is just FUD to scare people away. And the reason, that was the reason why I showed the bottle pay piece, was that, look, this company died in 2019 and came right back again and died again. So does it even really matter? Or is this all just noise? All right, Flacco, I'll start with you, and then we'll go to Walton.
Well, man, I think that nobody has any money. That's honestly what it comes down to.
Simple. So, everybody's broke.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like these companies, right? Like FTX, right? Okay, you said FTX was a big one that failed, and I remember that obviously back in November. Okay, they say that they have Bitcoin, they say that they got this, they say they got that, but in the end, they got absolutely nothing. So anybody could shut down the doors at any time. So if you have any significant amount of money on there, I would highly recommend that you withdraw it as soon as possible before these announcements kind of come out. Like BottlePay is a Lightning service. I remember it did. Was that the thing that did the torch? Remember that, the torch, the Lightning torch, with everybody on Twitter did it.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it was processed through BottlePay or something else, right?
BottlePay, I feel like BottlePay, I feel like they got big around then, but I'm trying to remember the service that everybody was using back then.
Oh, no, that was Tippin.me. Never mind. With the taco
Tippin, that's right. Tippin.me. That's right.
All right, so forget that. Yeah. So BottlePay, right? So it's a custodial Lightning channel. You can just shut down the doors anytime you want, right? So if you have, let's say, if you wanted to, look, I'm not an expert. I'm not a technical fucking genius in this, but I do know that Lightning channels requires you to run a node, open up a channel with some sort of liquidity in there, right? And you could close it anytime you want. So anybody that's passing payments through the Lightning network is going to probably pass through BottlePay or pass through Tippin.me or pass through anybody that's open, because I'm assuming that's how it works. Never looked into it that much. But you're going to send the Lightning payment, it's going to go through all the fucking nodes that are open. And if you're storing it on a custodial wallet, like let's say BottlePay, right? And if they decide to just shut it down, well, you're fucked. Right. So same thing with big banks, same thing with anything. You have your money somewhere, well, it's at your own risk, right? You don't control the keys. It all comes back down to your own money, right? The only thing that could really, save you from all this is learning how to fucking use a hardware wallet. That's the way I see it anyway. To me, the biggest thing for me in the Bitcoin space.
Signing device. And your own node.
For me, seriously, the biggest thing that I plant my feet into in Bitcoin is learning how to secure yourself. Like you have to learn how not to get phished. Don't put your fucking seed in a browser and so on and so forth. That was, to me, that was the most important thing ever, because nobody wants to lose money. And I still think it's the most important thing ever. So.
Yeah, very well said. I think that, even though we always harp on the self-sovereignty, I feel that for some reason, it still gets overlooked. It's like the easiest thing to overlook, just because everybody's so used to the third parties, right? The counterparty. Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, it's okay. I trust them. Walton, thoughts on this?
I now sleep way better. Like I now sleep fewer hours and feel more rested because I'm able to hold, my store value. It's not that complicated. Like, buy Bitcoin, use signing devices, preferably. I'm a huge multi-sig fan, and actually, I'm going to be talking more about that a little bit later in Hopium. Run your own node again. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. And also, what does this say here?
What does that say?
What does that say? It says,
I think it says
fuckshitcoins.com. Right. So yeah, please head on over, like and subscribe.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, we're gonna wrap up Rekt with this debate right here, because you were talking about securing your value. Here we go, guys. The bits versus sats debate. Adam may have dealt.
Porque no los dos? You can have both, guys. Like I think it's like I kind of like.
No, Walton.
Again, you want to know what the smallest one is, but also like people are used to using like dual denominated, right? Like pounds and pence, dollars and cents, whatever it is, like right, which guys. Are 100 multiple of each other. So I don't know. At some point, it makes sense to use both.
He may have dealt the. I get that we can use both, but at the same time, look at what he just did, man. I think he just kind of flip the debate on its head. Bits came before sats, and indeed, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still not so comfortable with bits, and sats don't actually exist. So
There's a great meme of, stop trying to make it happen, and the best use of that is for not Groobles and bits.
all right, I'm still a sats person. I'm still a sats person. But that's just from that's just from habit. That's just from habit. All right, guys, that wraps up Rekt, and we are moving on over to the Hopium.
Up next, we have Hopium, sponsored by CryptoCloaks. CryptoCloaks are a pioneer in 3D printing technology for a whole bunch of Bitcoin gear. It was a pleasure to meet Rick once again in Miami, and this time I acquired some of his merchandise. I got the Miami Vice coaster, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like very nice, Rick. Very nice, and that was a freebie, so thank you. But I also purchased a couple of very cool things. I bought a node case, the metal Triton, and someday I'm gonna learn how to use the IKEA like instructions to build it. When I've worked out the time to do it. But I was excited about this, which is the Genesis block like side plate for the node. Very cool. Yeah. I do believe these things are relatively easy to construct. I haven't quite worked it out yet, but I will do soon. And if not, I'm sure Rick will talk me through it. He probably won't, but I'll work it out. It can't be that difficult. So thanks, Rick. If you want to buy all this sort of stuff, if you head over to cryptocloaks.com or cryptocloaks.co.uk and use the code PlebUnderground, and you'll get some sort of deal. CryptoCloaks. I have 3 stories for you guys this week. The first story, which I'm not going to dive into too deeply, which probably is the most bullish news from the conference, is something called ARC. Now, it seems to be a proposal for a rather exciting layer 2 that would essentially have some benefits of lightning, but without the kind of requirement for channels in the same sort of way. I don't understand enough about it. I'm not going to try and explain enough about it here. I encourage people to read more. But one thing that is noted by some members of the Bitcoin community is that there is no software for this at this moment in time. And some people have noted that for this sort of thing to happen, we do need bit 119, bit 119 CTV to be activated, and it being better than something called APO. Now, again, I'm now quoting beyond my understanding here, but there would be some additional steps to happen before something like this can happen, and actually the software is not there yet anyway, not quite in the spirit of Satoshi.
There is a Telegram group. We'll add that to the show notes for the people who want to join the ARC Telegram group. I also picked up on this a couple of days ago, and I was like, "What is this?" So I read through it. It's very interesting. It essentially what happens is that you end up with a virtual UTXO or a VUTXO or VTXO, and it's considered to be off chain and from what I understood, a 1-to-1 peg to whatever Bitcoin that you put. But of course, there is no token, so to speak, right? Like you can't go and buy a bunch of VUTXO. So if somebody tries to scam you into like buying some, VUTXO token, it's not real. It's not. This has nothing to do with ARC. And the reason why I'm explaining this is because when Lightning first came out, back in 2018, of course, some shitcoiner created Lightning. That's right, created LBTC, which was not Lightning.
There was something called Omnicron came out. There was the shitcoin existed before,
So just don't get fooled by this. There is no shitcoin. This is another L2, which seemingly is going to be competing against Lightning. So this is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be very interesting because I do think that, hey, look, even though Lightning channels even though this is a good solution and it does work, it is cumbersome, right? It's not the same thing as just installing a Bitcoin wallet and sending somebody a payment. Yes, you can do that with a custodial version of it. Okay, but if you want to have your node and you want to have a wallet connecting to your node, you're already getting into a bit more of a technical realm. And I mean, don't get me wrong, but that's the argument for the people saying, hey, how do we onboard the next million? You know, how do we onboard the next 10 million? Well, that's kind of part of the argument, right? So I think Arc sounds like an interesting idea. Obviously, like you said, there's no real platform out there yet. And I do recall there's 2 BIPs that are needed. The one you mentioned and another one, I just don't remember what the number is. But those 2 are required before this can actually start to take form. So more than likely, we're talking about it right now. But I think that we're most likely only going to see anything tangible out of this in, let's say, maybe 1 to 2 years. Just my opinion. Flacco, any thoughts on Arc? Have you seen anything about this, or is this the first you see of it?
This is the first I see of it, but it does sound super cool. Since
Right.
we're on the subject of layer 2s and stuff like that, any innovative idea that could not fucking rug you is fantastic. But since we are talking about layer 2, I want to just elaborate one thing. I want to deviate from Arc. I want to talk about something that's not talked about a lot, and I want to talk about the Liquid network. I don't know if anybody ever heard of it. I think that this is a fantastic layer 2. I never tried it myself, right? But it's been out
Liquid's
just
a
as long.
shitcoin.
Is it?
You've got to have permission from the foundation to peg out. Now there are Liquid Lightning swaps which are permissionless, but still, there's got to be liquidity for that. I don't know. I thought it was skeptic because again the foundation theoretically could collaborate and prevent you from pegging out. It's unlikely that it would happen, but there's a chance.
Never mind that. I just thought it because it was made by Blockstream or whatever, and that it was a pretty good company. So
yeah, there's about 14. I think 14. I want to say it's 14. I might be right, but it's certainly on the 20 federation members that essentially. Yeah.
Okay, so fuck it. It's a shitcoin.
It's a little bit sensitive.
Yeah. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
bolts with a Z, bolts with a Z if you're speaking.
No, I never.
English.
I just saw
bolts have lightning liquidity. Sorry, lightning liquid swaps.
Okay.
So
no idea.
Yeah, if you do want to use Liquid, maybe consider But some people go, oh, but Liquid's better than Lightning because at least you can self custody Liquid.
I always have mixed thoughts about Liquid.
Yeah,
it's just mixed, right? Like. Because
I don't really understand why you need to use it. Like, why? Do why? Use Liquid?
No, but not only that, right? But who? So, what has? I mean, to my knowledge, it's just companies that attempt to use it. But nobody is issuing. I mean, nobody's really used it for quote unquote shitcoining, right? Because you have to peg in. You have to peg in your BTC. Number one, number two. I don't see how you can rug everyone, and then the Federation will just allow you to pull out your Bitcoin. So I just I think there's to a certain extent, I just don't get and again, it's just because I'm probably more of a fool, right? I don't get the why behind Liquid. I just don't get it, right?
Got it. I've always done transactions on L1. I still always will probably. So the first layer, man, I just just give me your BTC address and I'll send it over to you.
Sorry, Walton, you were saying you like Lightning?
But I mean, there's sovereign ways to do it. You got to run your own node. It is a bit more of a responsibility. But I do think it's useful, especially when you've got high fees. If you're running your own node with channels, you can do payments cheaper than other people. Because you don't have to do it on chain, or use some sort of Lightning liquidity service provider or whatever they're called, Lightning service provider. But I think Arc is very, very exciting if it can be enabled. I think what's very interesting is I think it's flipping a whole bunch of Bitcoiners' opinions on things like CTV. It's because I had mixed opinions on CTV before. I certainly heard strong advocation from very some Bitcoiners that I very much respect, like Reendal and Shinobi, that have good technical understanding, but now it's kind of, oh well, CTV would need to be activated for something like Arc. Arc has a whole bunch of benefits beyond Lightning in terms of kind of not having to kind of manage channels in the same way that you can essentially gain additional privacy through Arc as well. Always something that should be promoted.
Yeah, I'm totally. When I saw Arc, I was just like, wow, this looks very interesting, and I'm excited to see what comes of it.
So Phil, up next on the Hopium, we have one of my favorite, what do you want to call them, wallet coordinators, something like this, an app that enables you to create wallets by combining a bunch of different sign devices. So create multi-sig wallets. I think the best mobile first app for multi-sig, Nunchuk. And what excited me this week is that actually you can do it connecting it to your own node as well. So you could essentially set up your relatively noob family members with multi-sig on their phone and have their phones pointed at a node that you run, and then they're not at least using a third-party node, which I think is kind of revolutionary, because being able to do, Nunchuk already enabled people to do mobile first multi-sig with NFC. You don't even need to do anything with SD cards. You don't even need to use USB cables. You can hold up cold cards and tap signers and other devices, two mobile devices, and sign things with NFC in a way that is so normie friendly. And being able to do it as multi-sig means you can make it more secure and add redundancy, especially if you want to kind of help support them in that multi-sig. Whether you want to create, for example, you could create like a 2 of 4 multi-sig, and I don't know, you have 2 keys and they have 2 keys, or there's in a way that one person, I mean, you're trusting in that way, but do you know what I mean? There's different ways that you can kind of set up multi-sigs that mean that you can have more or less trust between different sorts of parties, and I think anything that enables people to help their family members, their friends, who aren't so technical, take their coins off in exchange in a way that means that they can be happy with the security and the redundancy, and now the privacy, because they can have it pointed at your node instead of just at a third-party node like Nunchuk. They make a great product, but if you're running just the app on its own, you're using their node, and so there is some privacy leak there. I think this is very, very exciting news. What are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what Nunchuk is doing. Don't get me wrong, I don't know enough about multi-sig, and that's my own mistake. So,
I've never used single sig. Confession. I felt more secure going from an exchange to a 2 or 3 multi-sig
right away.
Because of the redundancy aspect. I didn't like that. Oh, I've only got 1 key. That seems dangerous to me. I don't like it. So I was like, I'm gonna go. I think honestly, and I just never look back.
That's awesome.
Multi-sig is
really
the way
crazy.
to do it. If you want redundancy, which to me is the kind of the big worry with taking self-custody of, I've got this like one thing, if I fuck it up, I'm wrecked. Well, no, you don't. If you're doing multi-sig, you can fuck up one of them and it's okay. It's okay.
And you see that this is the great part, right? Is that everybody has different comfort levels, and everybody sees it in a different way. So that's very interesting that you went straight to multi-sig. I know some other people also that don't have any single sig. They just right away, it made sense to them in their minds. It's right. You feel more comfortable with that process flow. In my case, I find it like for me, it's complicated, right? When it doesn't need to be, and I just have this one thing. But to your point, right?
On
like
Nunchuk, it's so easy.
What redundancy do I have? It's like, that's the point, right? Like, so that's the trade-off I'm willing to, that's the trade-off I'm willing to take.
Like for me, I like, for the part of, this is a great question, great segment actually about security and stuff like that. to me, the best thing for anybody, if someone is going to come after your coins or someone is going to try and fish you, it's all about the amount of layers that you actually do have before they could actually get to your coins, right? So let's say you got, I don't wish this upon nobody, obviously, right? Like you fucking put in your keys into a fucking, into a website that you thought it was, let's say your hardware wallets thing. So they successfully got your, but let's say you have a multi-sig, right? They need 2 of them or 3 of them or 4 of them, right? It's all about the amount of layers. Then passphrases, stuff like that. That also helps a lot, which I totally recommend. It's fucking that's like an underdog inside the fucking Bitcoin space and like the whole fucking security aspect. A passphrase will fucking save your life. I don't give a shit what you say. You could have 15 fucking thresholds for a multi-sig. If it's not backed up by a passphrase, you have all your coins on, let's say, a fucking UTXO or a fucking private key. By having an actual passphrase, you could store majority of your coins inside your fucking brain. You could actually have a real brain wallet without having to remember 12 words, right? So to me, I think that's actually very important as well, that I totally recommend people look into. You just can't forget your passphrase, not forget all your fucking coins. So
and to your point, right? That was the only way to mitigate the Trezor hack with
exactly.
with the voltage what's it called there, the voltage fluctuation. The only way is if you have a passphrase. Well, they can do that. They can do all the voltage flickering they want. They don't have your passphrase. So
exactly.
It's interesting.
That's underlooked for sure.
Yes.
Man. Telling you, bro. It's like,
Agreed.
And one more thing that's underlooked is another form of multi-sig, which I'm a big fan of as well. It's older. It's like from the 80s. Fucking Cold Card has it, and Trezor actually. Shamir's secret sharing. Totally fucking sick, man.
I don't know enough totally about sick. That. Yeah.
Totally sick. Same thing like multi-sig. You just set your threshold of how many slithers of your key that you need to unlock. So let's say you make 16 fucking keys and you only need 4 of them out of the 16 to unlock your stuff. You could take any of the 4 out of the 16, go in, got your coins, but you could even back that up with a passphrase. So you're like 3, 4, 5, 6 layers in.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be like anybody, man. Like it's going to be like, who the fuck is this guy like that has 1,000 fucking keys lying around, or whatever. So just the more work, hackers and stuff need to do, the easier they back off, right? So that's like, it's not like a fucking Chrome extension on fucking MetaMask or whatever, some bullshit, right? So that's easy. So
yeah,
for people that are looking to fish you anyway. So totally something to look into. SSS, awesome.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
Hey Walton, is that everything for the Hopium?
One more story for the Hopium. It's a little bit of a solemn one, which may seem strange in the Hopium section. I referenced a little bit in my rhyme at the beginning. I said, "Welcome back to Pleb Underground, taken aback, a pleb underground." We lost a fellow pleb last week. And I just wanted to share some messages from the community, because this is why it's Hopium. The community have rallied around. Let me show you something.
Mm-hmm.
So here from Jedi. He said, as many now know, Staysky, our friend, passed away in a car accident. Many have reached out and know she was survived by 2 kids that are very young adults. I reached out to her and helped to set up a wallet for those who wanted to help. And then my friend, both my friends, Jedi and Shinobi. Shinobi then said, I'm sure most of you have already seen this, but sadly over the last week we lost a pleb to a deadly car crash the night before her flight to Miami. Didn't know her well, but she left beyond 2 children. I also didn't know her very well, but I encountered her in space a couple of times, and she seemed like a solid pleb, and there's many people who've spoken very highly of her. Yeah, but I see the community rally around.
Yeah, my definitely my condolences when I heard about that. I had gone a few times to a few spaces where she was speaking, and if you look through that thread, you'll see that there is there's a Bitcoin address that's provided and everything like that. And if I'm not mistaken, her daughter has also followed a few Bitcoiners. That
Shinobi's been, I think, helping out with some of the technical stuff as well.
Exactly, I think this is beauty. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like it's bittersweet, but at the same time, with what's that saying, right? Every heartache and every adversity brings with it the equal or greater seed of of opportunity. And, like quite possibly, because the community is helping out, maybe this changes the trajectory of, the kid's future to a certain extent or something like that. It sadly, like, it's these types of situations, right, where we can let these terrible things kind of rule our lives and we create kind of personalities of pain out of them, or we turn these things into catalysts, right, and make it into something positive that helps us jump to the next point in our lives. So, like my condolences to her family.
Yeah, and respect to all the plebs, standing up and contributing in some way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Walton, it's good that you showed that. It was very good. Appreciate that.
Respect, bro.
All right, guys, that wraps up the Hopium segment on a bit of a somber note. But right now, we're going to move on over to our BtcPayServer update. All right, well, sadly, we don't have much to report from BtcPayServer for this month. It's still the same release as the last one, 1.9.3. But I was told by a quote-unquote trusted source internal to BtcPayServer that there will be a major update in the next 2 weeks that we are going to be covering in next month's update. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming to BtcPayServer.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Phil. In fact, at the conference, I resurrected a BtcPayServer developer, and he told me that I must become a contributor in some way, shape, or form. I was very much confused by this proposal, but if you watch a documentary that I think he's putting together, you'll find out more. Yeah, apparently there's all sorts of ways that non-developers can contribute, whether that's kind of in helping with some of the language of things, because how people understand software can be kind of contributed to by people who aren't developers. The kind of educational process, the linking from technical people to normies is an important part for Bitcoin adoption. And so some of you people out there who aren't developers like myself, but maybe have some experience in education, or want to help, can contribute in some way, and see what you can do. Reach out to people who are developing all sorts of things, and maybe there's some way that you can contribute.
Because BtcPayServer is not a company, right? They live and breathe off of donations. They are not a corporation, even though people think they are, because it's such a polished product. And I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but we're working on getting the creator of BtcPayServer, Nicolas Dorier, to join us next month on the episode. So fingers crossed that we get Nicolas to come and join us, and I am hoping that he can explain the BitPay
You're saying there's
story.
a bigger rock star? There's a bigger rock star than Rockstar?
I'm not confirming or denying that, but there may be a bigger rock star than Rockstar. Rockstar, don't hate
Rockstar
me.
dead.
But
Shout out, you know what? Fucking BtcPayServer is sick. It works with WordPress. Awesome shit. Gotta
do you
say.
know why they're sick? Because once again they remind everyone with the update. Phil, just show it for me one more time. Boom, boom, boom. Bugs are to be fixed, not eaten. Fuck you, World Economic Forum. Bugs are to be fixed, not eaten. Thank you.
That is very well said. Very well said. And you know what, Walton? That is the perfect note. We're going to wrap up the show. Guys, that does it for us this week on PlebUnderground. Flacco, thank you so much for joining us. Thank Quake for joining us as well. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check us out on our audio-only platforms. Walton's pointing at the Taco Plebs. That's right. Don't forget to check us out on the audio-only platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. If you want to stream us sats, you can stream us sats through Breeze.
You best be streaming sats.
Thank you. All right, guys. Catch you all next week. Walton?
Fuck shitcoins.
That's right. Fuck shitcoins. Catch you guys next week.
.com. Like and subscribe.